Hello. I'm Alex Mack, part of the Call to Action crew, and I'm here with one of my favorite people of all time, Mr. Natty Ice.
It's me. It's NAT. I wasn't sure where I was going with that, but I just went with it. It felt right. NAT. That's me.
That's true. That's the truest thing I've ever heard. It's always correct. It always feels right in the heartstrings. They're definitely being tugged as we speak. Yeah. We've had a loaded week, I feel like. A lot of stuff going on, in the world and everything, but more importantly, in the world of Schmodown, a lot of stuff going on overall. How'd you feel like a fan?
Oh, man. I think we've had this whole – I just want to say this whole Star Wars tournament has been insane. Like, this is the most I've ever cared about the Star Wars division. And I've always been, like, a fan, but, like, the matches have been just, like, stellar, like, throughout the entire tournament. And not to mention, like, Intergeekdom is my favorite division. So, like, seeing all these great players going toe-to-toe, it's been a real treat.
Absolutely. IG, obviously, arguably one of the most difficult leagues out there. But especially right now, every single competitor is good. Like, there's no competitor that's like half-assing it all that much. They're training, like actively training. It's a work in progress for sure. Yeah. So
there's no easy matches. There's no guaranteed wins or anything. Like everyone comes to play. So
absolutely,
that's why I love the Intergeekdom division.
I'm sure some people in the chat are going to be really quick to tell us we're wrong in some regards. In that case, please let us know your opinions. We love opinions. We're doing a little breakdown. We're trying this out. And, if it's good, awesome, we'll figure it out better next time. If we're bad, even better. We know what not to do next time. So it's a work in progress. So thank you so much for your patience. Okay, so we're going to be reviewing 3 matches today. The first of which is actually going to be Mike Kalinowski from Corruption going up against Greg Alba. Actually, Idris Alba, all the way from Quirky Mercs. The second match is going to be the Star Wars match between Laura Kelly up against, Ace Cabrera. I mean, enough said. Yeah, and the final match was actually earlier today, so if you haven't seen it, just saying, spoilers ahead, a whole lot of spoilers, so I definitely encourage you to go check out the matches before you get to this. So I just don't want to, ruin anything for you as well.
We're going to spoil some stuff, so you better get on that.
So many spoilers. Well, just going into our first match of the week that happened, I believe on Monday, because Mike Kalinowski and Greg Alba, overall, what were some of your general predictions going into it?
I think it was pretty safe to say that Mike was the more likely winner, but yes. I really feel like people were sleeping on Greg Alba. Like, you can't sleep on Greg Alba. He's shown during his match with Warfather that he is not a person to take lightly. Like, he knows his stuff. He enjoys watching geek movies, and obviously he's put the time in to be really good at this. So I definitely think that Mike, going into it, I would say he had his weaknesses, and if the wheel went a certain way, I would have said that Greg would have had a really good shot at taking him out. But actually watching this match, it surprised me. Like, a lot of factors I didn't see coming.
This was a great match.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. If I didn't know that Mike was a champion, I would think that they were on very similar, if not identical levels, honestly. Yeah. There was no moments where one was crazy ahead of the other. There was no moment where in the first round, one of them or both only got half the points or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty intense overall. I mean, just I do think everyone in Schmodown, well, not everyone, obviously, but a lot of fans, especially on Facebook, agreed with you. I just want to pull up a poll real quick. So Kalinowski, obviously, a huge favorite on Facebook, at least, when it was issued just the other day. So he actually ended up with 88 out of the total. I can't do math here. So what's 88 plus 15? Okay. 103. 103. Yeah. So that's what 80. Yeah. So that's 85% of the votes. So obviously everyone's, myself included, we definitely favored Kalinowski going into this, but Alba, holy shnikes, he did so good.
Yeah. I mean, the poll is really no insult to Greg. I mean, Greg's 1-0 and Kalinowski's a former 2-time champion. So you would expect the poll to be a little lopsided. but I don't think that's indicative of his skill set as a player. Like, Greg crushed it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, I mean, this one in particular, just want to kind of go over the psychology of some of these competitors as well. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, if you're in Greg Alba's shoes, like, how do you prepare for someone like Mike that's been a belt champion in several leagues, that's been a 2-time winner of IG? Like, I wonder how Greg thought going into this. It's his second match ever in IG. Like, no pressure, kid. It's kind of crazy to me. So I'm kind of curious what his study regimen was. I mean, he even said, if anything, I'm still like in phase 1 or 2. And, if I were in the MCU right now, it's being in Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, yeah.
Is that phase 1 or 2? I don't know. Is that phase 2?
It's phase 2.
Maybe. We're not in the tournament, guys. Yeah.
Definitely get alive if we're wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it's you really put me on the spot here. I'm pretty sure it's phase 2.
Yeah, I was like, I have no clue. I just can't remember. I'll assume it's page, the phase 2 for sure. I just want to kind of go over the stats as well. If I can bring it up, that would be cool. If I can. Okay, here it is. Okay, so Mike, the killer Kalinowski up against Greg Idris Alba. So cool. All right, so you're Mr. Numbers. You're all about the numbers and stats. My dude. What do you see when you look at all these little things?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to Megs for providing with these stats. She's always awesome.
Yes, thank you so much, Megs. By the way, absolutely.
Yeah,
I see your name down in the corner here.
So this doesn't really surprise me how Mike Kalinowski did. I mean, 89.5 percentage rate completion. That's for me. That's insane. Mm-hmm. But that's what you would expect from a former champion. Mm-hmm. It does surprise me that Greg Alba hit 68%. I would have expected it to be higher if I didn't have the stats right here in front of me. But he's still made for a super competitive match. It was a 5-point differential.
Well, considering it was his second match ever, kind of looking at it, I do obviously Kalinowski, his numbers were expected. I expected Alba honestly to get a 5 or a 6 out of the 10, but he ended up walking away with a 7, which is really impressive in his second match ever again, obviously. And going over to like some of the categories, there was one question in the Star Wars category that they both lost. That was the second question, and I believe it was a character question essentially. So it wasn't like anything about like what was the weapon or anything like that. It was I guess a little more of a surface level question, which I'm a little surprised both of them kind of got wrong. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising, but those things are gonna happen. Like sometimes you just have too much in your head, and you're gonna forget some things that you shouldn't. So. I do give them a pass for that, but it is surprising that both of them missed it.
Yeah, not kidding. Okay, well, over in the chat, real quickly, I want to know, what do you guys kind of see looking at these numbers as well? So it's like obviously going into this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can just pull it up and so we can actually see each other, because I feel bad I can't really see all that much. So I'm gonna stop screen there.
While you're doing that, I do want to just point out real quick that me and Dylan Camacho, fellow host of the AAA Live, we one of our earlier episodes, we covered Mike Kalinowski on our Competitors Corner, and we saw that this was before we had Meg doing the stats for us, so it might not be super good.
Wrong one. Sorry.
It's okay. But we did see that that Mike's biggest weakness by far was Middle Earth. Like, that was the one who was consistently getting questions wrong in. Mm-hmm. And it's super surprising that he spun Middle Earth in round 2 and did so well with it. Like me and Dylan had to talk to him at the awards and the draft. Yeah. And we told him, if you're gonna compete at the level that you want to compete at, then you need to brush up on your Middle Earth, because that's the one glaring weakness. And it seems like he did.
Absolutely. It definitely was he was very vocal about it. Like, this is not a category he's not super confident in, but clearly he's the dude studying. He's, looking at the books and, definitely making some notes for sure. He said his training regimen for these movies is not only really reinvigorated, going into it, but also he's making almost double the amount of notes than before. And he's constantly trying to evaluate it in a new way. Between him and Chance, constantly challenging each other. So that's pretty awesome. Now, when I watched it for the first time, I did notice that I feel like there was very much a real difference in intensity of the questions. But I know that's obviously when it comes to question intensity, that's completely subjective. Yeah. So we can't really, so what's easy for me is not going to be easy for you, obviously. Kind of, if I would hate for Alba, he ended up getting, so Alba ended up getting DCEU, right? Mm-hmm. He ended up still doing really, really well. And he ended up getting almost all the questions. Yeah, he almost got all of them except one, which was a steal. So overall, I would be like, yeah, Alba is knocking it out of the park, honestly. He's doing really, really great for his second match overall.
Yeah, he's definitely crushing it. And I think the thing with DCEU is even more impressive because there's so few movies, so the questions are going to be that much more deep. So the fact that he was able to do really well in it, I think it speaks volumes to him as a competitor. Yeah.
Well, over to the chat real quickly. I do want to highlight some people. The match was definitely a lot closer than I thought. I was sleeping on Greg a little until this a lot like Zipper for me. See? Zipper, my dude. I love Zipper. I love him.
Zipper's awesome.
He's so fantastic. The Shadow one was brought up for the first time in IG during first round. I know, right? What we need some more little weird. We need the weird ones. Okay, where are these? Where are the weird questions? The Phantom. The Shadow. Let's get really intense in those.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Alec Belden, what's up? Okay, and for the third and final one, it really kind of went down to. It started, obviously, kind of start off with Wizarding World. And Wizarding World for his first question with his with his second pointer for his 5-point again to beat DC. Kalinowski, he got all the questions correct, but at the end of the day, it really came down to Mike's 5-point question. So I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
very hot. Mike's not usually that put to the edge in a first round,
Yeah, no, especially being the competitor that Mike is, you could make the argument that Greg Alba is not on the championship caliber as Mike Kalinowski, but I think he proved that he could be a serious competitor because he took Mike to the limit. You don't see a lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's just considering how new Greg is to the game of IG in particular. He showed so much potential just looking at these numbers. I would be uber excited to draft him. Absolutely. For sure. Just saying, if someone draft him, for the love of God. Okay, just want to kind of go over. So there were obviously no challenges, or any massive moments. So it's a pretty straightforward match. Yeah. But did you have any favorite moments or anything?
Favorite moments. I really liked the entire match. It's so hard to pick one.
Right. I mean, it was a really nice chill match, though.
Yeah,
yeah. People weren't freaking out. Some of the later matches we'll see. We'll talk about, but
we'll get to those. But I really like that. Even though Mike's a heel, I think I really liked how he gave Greg his respect after the match. That's huge. Coming from a former champion like that, yes. I think it shows that Greg Alba belongs in the Intergeekdom division, and I think he just proved. I think there's no such thing as a good loss, but this came pretty close to that because Greg Alba's stock definitely went up with his loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no joke. He is going to be a huge multi-league asset to whatever faction he gets drafted into next season. I'm not going to assume he's going to still remain on Quirky Mercs, honestly, because I don't know how many competitors are even going to be allowed to have. I mean, it's going to be 1, 2, 10 players. I don't know. But yeah, so great match overall, massively impressive, and yeah, overall. Okay, moving on to the next match. So it's going to be against Ace Cabrera versus Laura Kelly. Wham! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, boy, I'm excited to talk about this one because
can
I tell you.
Can we just talk about this for a long time?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone in the chat, please let us know. Okay, real honestly speaking, where did your loyalties lie? Who did you think was going to win? I know for a fact. I remember you have it on camera. I told like Paul and Danny and Kelsey, I was like, Laura's going to win. Like, obviously, like Ace obviously improved tremendously. He's great and everything, but she's a number one contender. I mean, like, you know, this is the first time. And oh my gosh, that was so good. So good.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do you think he felt going into this match? Not only other reactors going into this was like, yeah, Kelly's got it. The statistics, like the likeliness that she was going to win was like at 80-something% or something crazy. And also everyone was just like, yeah, Ace is good, but not great. I heard a lot of people say that, especially in Twitter and all that good stuff. Like he's a great competitor. Like I said, he's improved a lot, but it's Laura fucking Kelly, you know?
Yeah. When was this match? This is Wednesday, right?
Yes, Wednesday. Mm-hmm.
So Wednesday morning, I got a notification on Twitter that Sala tagged me in this post saying Laura Kelly versus Ace Cabrera.
Yeah.
Who do you have? And overwhelmingly, like minute after minute, I kept getting notifications about people like, I got Lights Out. Lights Out's got this. Laura Kelly's going to win. And oh man, did she had a fight in front of her, let me tell you. Because the thing is, I've learned never to doubt anyone in the Star Wars division. Like, it's pretty much a coin toss. Anyone can make a mistake at any given time, and anyone can win. Because they all come so prepared. They all come with so much knowledge that it didn't surprise me that Ace won. But obviously, Laura Kelly's the number one seed. That's a huge upset. Like, I would have never predicted that Ace would win. And I would have never predicted he would throw a perfect game. That's huge.
Corruption is also in a situation right now where they need every win. Yeah. Very similar to the dungeon. And because they're at the lower end of the tier right now, where I believe Goddard mentioned it, in a promo. He's like, hey, I've earned my faction more points than you have in your entire thing. So, I've earned my faction 10 points. You literally have 8 points total. Like, calm down. Let's be honest here, guys. And I was like, oh shit, and then I was kind of applying that mindset to going into this. And especially for Shannon, as a manager, she's like obviously mega confident. Laura is amazing. She had a stellar match, going up against, I can't remember who she went up against. I'm having a brain fart. Who did she go against? Sean, yes, absolutely. That was an amazing match, by the way. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, so Corruption right now is in desperate need of points as a faction. So she went into this super duper confident, but unfortunately didn't really play out. Just want to whip up the stats for this again real quick. Let me see. Yes, Corruption for Laura Kelly versus, Ace Cabrera, with swag. Oh my gosh. Winston, honestly, manager of the year. I'm calling it right now, man. Oh my Lord. Rookie manager on top of, doing so well with all his faction with, I can't remember if he has any champions in his team or anything like that, but I don't think he has any champions or anything. So he has had to work that much harder for sure. Obviously. Okay, so what do you think, dude? You're like I said, Mr. Numbers. What do you think?
Okay, so speaking of numbers, Laura Kelly literally lost this match because she was one number off. It was literally. It's one number off. Like people like this isn't match of the year. This is recency bias. Are you kidding me, dude? The biggest underdog in the world beat the number one seed, and you're going to tell me this isn't match of the year?
Look at those fucking accuracy ratings. It's 94% versus 100%. It is ridiculous. Okay, so the Phantom Menace question in the first round is the only question that was gotten wrong, and she got it wrong because it was an age thing. Like, is he 9 or 10? Are you kidding?
Just imagine we live in this parallel universe where Laura Kelly guesses 10, and they go to sudden death, and the match never ends. That is a real possibility because these two know their stuff. I can't imagine who misses first.
It's crazy. But that is to say, in this league in particular, obviously, every bit counts. Every challenge, every technicality. These competitors are not, arguing. They're fighting themselves. They're fighting the psychology of really dissecting the knowledge. I think Adam Witt, said it. Scrimshaw said it earlier this year. They're fighting the questions. They're not fighting the knowledge. It's like versus singles and teams. There's so many thousands upon thousands of movies you got to like somewhat be familiar with. Yeah. But it's such a finite number, obviously. But on top of that, because there's so few, each dive is that much more intense. Mm-hmm. And something as ridiculous as how old was Anakin inventing the fucking menace? Is he 9 or 10 years old? How ridiculous is that? I mean, it's bonkers. It's such a throwaway moment in the movie too. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree. PLD, the most beautiful of hopes. Nat is absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that luscious hair. Can you take off your hat, and just like give it a good wave? Like do a little shampoo commercial moment. Yes. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's my beautiful natural hair.
Maybe it's quarantine.
Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, real quickly, Jeremiah said I had that as weird as Almeen. She needs to watch more weird. What does that mean?
Weird Al?
Weird Al to study. I don't know what that means.
Weird Al Yankovic?
I don't know what that means. Oh, bye, Mr. Anakin Fry from the to the levee, but you're just a small fry. And good old boys, it kisses mommy goodbye, singing soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. That one? I don't know. Maybe. Sure. That one? Maybe.
I guess. I mean, I'm not familiar.
Really? By that song by Weird Al?
I've never heard of it. I love Weird Al, but like I think that one just flew me by.
What? My dude, you're frozen, by the way, so I'm just gonna dance it out. I'm gonna dance it out.
Frozen?
You're frozen. You're like froze like this.
Chat, can you see me? Am I frozen?
Gonna rinse you. Yeah, so he mentions the age in the song. Yeah, so I guess technically that would have like completely gone over my head. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, you're not frozen anymore. Yes.
Perfect.
But yeah, everyone agrees that you were frozen. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish. Okay, so William Harold, I would love to show Nat the music video and everything, but unfortunately.
Oh no, we can't do that.
We would get flagged. So, and that's the whole thing. We would have to like. It's really unfortunate, honestly.
The last time we showed stuff, like we got banned from Japan. Oh
my gosh.
We showed anime, and then it was a whole big thing. We don't want to do that again.
Banned in a country.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a thing that only happens never. Like only if you're like doing something crazy, okay? That's the only situations where you're like banned in a country. But yeah, you got banned for our videos were banned, just to clarify. Nat's not banned, but our videos were banned specifically because you showed theme songs.
You showed Naruto.
Yeah, some scenes and theme songs from anime shows, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Basically, I don't know which one it was. I think it was like a full-blown clip. Oh. AAA was a really different show back then. We don't do that.
It was. Yeah. Also, I mean, if you're gonna talk about any like introduction like songs or anything like that, it should probably be Cowboy Bebop. So,
oh my god,
so good. The entire score, all of the soundtracks. There's like soundtracks that Cowboy Bebop has, and every single one of them is magic. It's perfect. So good. Okay, just want to give you a heads up. You are frozen again.
Oh, come on.
You're frozen. You look like you're modeling a little bit.
Really am Natty Ice.
Wait, I'll just there you go. Well,
that I can't see how I look when I'm frozen.
This is you right now. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh, wait, maybe. There you go. Oh, okay. There you're good. Now you're good. Kelsey says, banned from a country sounds like something that would happen to Gucci, right? Exactly. Alan's like, oh, Sam Levine is friends with Weird Al. Oh, there you go. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome right there. I know a lot of people whose first concert was Weird Al, which is like a random little tidbit. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So just going to pick up where we left off, I do want to kind of touch on the psychology of some of these competitors going into it. How do you think Laura Kelly might have felt going into this match, going up against Ace, whose Ace is like a huge Cinderella story situation right now, obviously.
Yeah.
And everyone assumes that she's going to win. Therefore, if she does lose, before going into it, it's considered one of the biggest upsets of the year and everything. And so you can't help but put that much more pressure on yourself,
Absolutely. I think that Laura Kelly's not the type of person to underestimate her opponents.
Yeah.
I think in the Star Wars League, it's so hard to prepare because what are their weaknesses? They don't have any. You just have to pray that they miss a question. So I think the only thing you can do is brush up on what you know and not worry about what your opponent knows.
I am kind of curious of what the Star Wars mixed bag category is. I want a little bit more. Is it supposed to be is it a little bit, technically just a little bit of everything? Is it just I feel like that's what it is, but all the other categories in Star Wars are literally just each slice is like a movie. You know?
Yeah.
And then there's categories in the third round where it's ships and machines and weapons or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one is quotes or whatever. Who said it? So so I'm kind of curious about the intensity of each of these competitors going into it. How did Shannon help her? How does she help Laura? But also, how did Winston really help Ace as well? Because they were vibing the entire time. They were like, "Dude, I love you," and Winston was like, "I love you too." It's so there was a real bromance going on screen.
Bromance, yeah, for sure.
The tears and everything, and I was like, "This is real. That's good. That's beautiful."
You gotta love it, man. I'm super here for all these romances. Even Coy and Greg Alba, romances all around.
Yes, we need more bromances. We just need more, friendships, really awesome, genuine friendships on screen. That's what I love to see.
For sure.
Yeah, overall. All right. So, but Canada rocks. Oh, hello. Wait, I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Welcome. It looks like he really wants it right. He is so aggressively seeking the belt right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Demolanta is really pissed. You know what I mean? When I say just pissed, I just mean he's obviously Demolanta. He's been working hard, actively studying and everything for so long right now. And he's this record does not represent my knowledge, blah, 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 which is completely just, I can't imagine being in a situation. But also no one is talking about him right now.
No, that's insane to me because we talk about this being match of the year. Look at what his match with Joseph Scrimshaw.
Yo, that was championship level right there.
Yeah. He went perfect in the match too. So it's very possible these two can just duke out in sudden death.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't wait for that match. I really feel bad about betting against Ace after the performance that he had.
Yes.
But there's no player in the Star Wars division that is more locked in than Andrew Demolanta is. And I feel strongly about that. They might be as locked in as he is, but Demolanta is a true fan. He watches all the matches. He reviews them, and he has the strategy down pat. We've had a conversation with him on AAA Live where he dissected Alex Damon's gameplay to a level that I would have never even begun to do. He's the one who figured out Alex Damon is good at in-world questions, questions about the universe, but he's the ones he misses are the ones that are about like actors and stuff, like things that are outside of the movies. So someone who does that much homework, I think he can beat anyone in the division on any given day.
Yeah. I feel so hesitant with you as well because I feel like they're both so good. I think Demolanta, I feel like he improved so much. Finstock, he's like, I was the first to say, Finstock, he's not a good fit for these competitors or, things like that. However, I think he's done so well with Demolanta in particular. I'm so impressed with their relationship, but also he seems like a new man going into the season. I'm like, you know what? Heck yes. I'm excited. Just overall, he's definitely, like a changed competitor as well. Now, Ace or Scrimshaw? Are you going in the favor of Demolanta Ace versus Demolanta? Who would you put money on? Who would you put money on?
I wouldn't put money on either of them because like anyone can win. But if I had to gun to my head, I would say Demolanta.
Yeah, I would vote the same way. I don't want to say Ace is gonna. I mean, I feel like they're both very similar. In this match in particular, I think it was definitely there was a few challenges. Actually, let's go back and look at some of the challenges real quickly.
Let's do it. There were so many.
So many challenges. So we're going to be starting with one of the challenges. Let's see if I can pull it out. There's 2 challenges here. Actually, you know what? We're going to start with the first one. We're going to start with the first one. Sorry. I'm so organized, guys. Forgive me. All right. I think that's the right one. Okay. All right. So this one.
Back here.
Okay.
Coming back here. All right.
We're back, and after deliberating with the judges, I have the honor of reading what's on the teleprompter. So, after consulting with all necessary parties, we have elected 2 things. One, because for whatever reason we weren't able to see Winston's challenge in the private chat or anywhere else.
I did the other way around.
Another question had already been asked. We cannot grant the challenge. We cannot retroactively go back and grant the challenge, which is unfortunate. However, because that would have been a challenge on a question that had already been asked and we had moved on, Winston and Team Swag do retain their use of a challenge should they need it in round number 3. So no challenge has been issued. No challenge has been wasted.
All right. So with that, we are now going to get – so we're going to drop one back.
Okay. What do you think about that challenge overall?
I think it's good that he did it, even though it wasn't technically a challenge. I think it shows how good Winston Marshall is as a manager.
Yeah,
you see people like Finstock, who's obviously an amazing manager. He's had so much experience, but how he challenges is that he looks at his player's face and if they want him to challenge. But Winston, I think he said earlier, like before the match, that he watches the Star Wars movies with them. And he wants to know like what situations are appropriate to challenge. So I think Winston's so locked into to his players, and I think that's great to see.
I think it's obviously being able to read your competitors is a huge asset. Yeah. It can be a little, I don't want to say misleading sometimes, but sometimes even competitors are wrong. Yeah. Those things happen all the time. Yeah, I mean, like in sometimes questions are you're like, wait, technically, but I am a little surprised about this one. I'm not entirely sure why they were allowed to keep their challenge, honestly, because he did issue the challenge so late where it wouldn't have really. Like where it didn't matter at that point, because at that point they're already moving on to new questions and everything. So you can't just go back and be like, oh wait, but and another thing, so it's not really fair to both competitors, I feel like. But honestly, I don't feel like they should have been allowed to keep their challenge. Like if that's your decision to make your challenge at that point, I feel like you should know going into that you could lose it. So it's kind of weird to me that they were allowed to keep it a little bit. Not to say it didn't change the outcome of the match, obviously, but hypothetically, if something happened and if they went in overtime and there was a challenge later on, I would have been like, that should have never been there. In the first place. Yeah.
I do disagree with you there a little bit because, like, I think they're looking at it sort of like football. Like, if you throw a challenge flag after another play started, you can't challenge that play again because another player started, and the coach gets to keep his challenge. So I think they were looking at it sort of like that way. So I sort of understand it.
But if you lose your challenge, you're not allowed to keep it, though.
Right, but the challenge wasn't technically used because the time had expired on the time you're allowed to use that challenge.
It wasn't technically allowed to be used, but he issued it. He started it essentially. The challenge thing popped up, so I feel like if that pops up, you're issuing a challenge, and so it has to be addressed as such.
I totally understand what you're saying, but like for example, in football, Bill Belichick throws a red flag. The referees are allowed to like pick it up and give it back to him. They're not gonna take it away if he issues it too late. Like, you know what I mean? Like if he throws a challenge down. Ineligible, he gets to keep it.
Yeah. I don't think that should be the case though. But I don't know football or anything. So I can't really apply that kind of mindset to it. But I just don't think that should be the case. I understand why, but even if it shouldn't be, even if it is, I just don't think he should be allowed to keep it, regardless of it being issued. Honestly, actually being used. If you're creating it, it should be taken away if you technically lose it. So that's part of the risk. So
I definitely think you bring up a good point. I think an argument could be made for taking the challenge away from him. I think it's a tricky situation.
Yeah, I can understand either way, but I just know personally that would have been my personal thing. But like you said, if it's like if that's much more common in sports, like you said with football, that completely makes sense. And I do think it is very, very smart of Winston to do that and do that on behalf of Swag. Now, I do want to kind of go back to the first challenge a wee bit real quick as well. So we can go back to that. Okay.
Coming back here. All right.
We're back, and after deliberating with the judges, I have the honor of reading what's on the teleprompter. So after consulting with all necessary parties, we have elected two things. One, because for whatever reason, we weren't able to see Winston's challenge.
Oh, this is the other one.
Or anywhere else.
My bad.
And another question.
Oh, wait, I did the wrong one. Whoops. I'm pretty cool, guys. I try sometimes,
It's okay.
There we go. Let's see. No, wait, no. That's not it. Where's the other one? I had the other one. Did I lose it? Oh, did I lose it? Please don't tell me I lost it. I might have lost it. that click I made, I totally lost it.
Oh no.
Oh, well, it's all good. It's gone forever. It's gone forever. It's all good.
Never gonna see it again.
But the challenge that was made by Laura, I was so impressed with her being like, wait, hold the phone, challenge right away. And I was like, I get it, girl. There's no moment of hesitation there. So one of the questions I can't say what the exact question was, obviously. However, what?
Something with R2D2 and who went with someone, and I don't know what Star Wars.
I don't know Star Wars. What? It's in space, I'm told, and there's ships and stuff, and gas and a galaxy, super close as well. But essentially, so the question the question is like, who went away with this character running away from something? Yeah. And so she said Hoth, I think she said Hoth, and it was they answered as incorrect. And she's like, right away, you see, we're like, what? Am I thinking about the right situation? And A said R2D2. And so she's like, no challenge. And so, they went over to that. They reviewed that whole situation with PJ, one of the question writers as well, as long as some other people. And they realized that not only R2-D2 as well as Hoth were both in the ship, essentially, running away. So both answers should have been correct. Now, Ace did, voice some initial concern, being like, well, should I keep the 2 points because I did steal it? But also Laura, her question would have been right. Was right at the beginning, so there was hypothetically there was technically nothing to steal, even though he did also answer correctly. So, I was so impressed with Laura. Not to mention Shannon. She's like, yeah, my girl. I trust her. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, she obviously knows this stuff, so I would trust her to get the challenge right. Like, if she had it in her head like it was Rhoda and R2-D2, then I would believe her. But again, I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm not sure how accurate the challenge is. Yeah. But I do applaud her for speaking up when she thinks that she's been unfairly ruled a decision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think that she was not only, when it comes to issuing challenges, it can be very difficult to word it correctly, because you can issue a challenge, but if you're not wording it correctly, where it's just that you're not able to articulate it efficiently, your challenge can go out the window, even if you were technically correct, which sucks. If you and your manager are not on the same page, that sucks, and it shows. And you could lose your challenge even though you were right. And that's happened before, unfortunately. I know it's happened to me a few times. Sometimes you just get I know personally speaking, it's just easy to get well, it's just because of this, this, and this. And there's you can go into a 20-minute monologue about why this is wrong, but I need one clear statement saying why it's wrong, So.
Yeah, I can't imagine being a manager or a competitor, having to issue a challenge, because you have to be so careful with your words, and you have to be say exactly what you mean and be able to articulate that. It's gotta be so scary.
Yes. Oh, it wasn't Hoth. Thank you, William. She said Rota, who is who's in Ashoka's backpack. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I don't know Star Wars. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I am just mega impressed with these competitors. That's my only context as well. Real quick as well, Ken was right. They need to review that question, see if there are 2 answers right, which is what they did. Yes, so there was 2 technical answers. So whoever wrote down the question didn't word it correctly. So maybe they could have been name one of the 2 individuals that were running away with her, or name both of the characters that were running away with her. So, you live and learn. Yeah. Alan says, even though it doesn't matter, I don't think they ever say the name Rhoda in film. Rota. They call him Jabba's son or Stinky. Would Stinky have been accepted as the answer? I think Stinky is legit.
I have no idea who Stinky is, so
I'll take your word for it, though, Alan. The director. What's up? Okay, and real quickly, I do know Malcolm says that's not what with Twitch thought that they were live. They weren't able to go back to review what Josh actually said. Then they had to make the call on the fly, so they reviewed it after. Oh, interesting. Curious. Very curious. All right. Okay. So overall, what were some of your favorite moments of this whole thing? There's a lot. Oh my gosh. How'd you feel as a fan watching it?
My favorite moment. I mean, it would have to be her getting Anakin's age wrong. I mean, that's it hurts me to say because I love corruption, but that's the moment that changed the entire match for me. If that didn't happen, who knows where it would have ended up? Yeah,
not kidding. Not flipping kidding. So, my favorite moment probably, it didn't hit me how much their relationship meant, and slowly started tearing up on screen, and I was like, he started tearing up, and he's like, he's worked so hard. This relationship is real, and I was like, It is a real Cinderella story. And, he obviously, every single competitor that does this works incredibly, incredibly hard. It's just, when everyone doubts you from the get-go, it's just that much more difficult having not having that support system, or people backing you up essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or cheering you on. Yeah. So
as someone who picked against Ace in his next match, I truly feel like you can't doubt Ace anymore. He's being a former champion in 10. He's being the number 1 seed in Laura Kelly, former number 1 contender. So, I mean, it's anyone's game. I could easily see Ace being champion by the end of the year. I can easily see Andrew DiMolanta being champion by the end of the year. I can easily see Alex Damon staying champion for forever. So, I mean, who knows?
I feel the exact same way. I feel like Alex Damon is just, he's been a champion for 3 seasons now?
Something like that. He was 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons. And he's had I think almost all of his championship matches have been, his belt matches have been live. So obviously he's comfortable being in front of a crowd. He's comfortable working under pressure and everything. And he's done it so consistently now. Yeah. And they're actually asking old questions,
Yeah.
And so essentially, I feel like I think whoever's going to walk away from this tournament is going to be amazing. For some reason, I'm like, it's Alex fucking Damon. I mean, come on. It's the demon. Alex
Damon is not the type of person to miss a question twice. So if they're reusing old questions, I don't see how he can miss any. He's locked in. He was a fan of the Schmoedown before he even competed. Same as Andrew DiMolanta. So Star Wars division is so stacked. It's so, oh my God, it's a murderer's row. There's no easy matches anywhere, and anyone can win at any given time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so intense. It's definitely the most competitive Star Wars, season we've had so far, within Schmoedown. Okay, we talked about the polls, we talked about the stats and everything, competitors' psyche as well. Ace, he's going to be going up against DiMolanta. So just going to go over the psychology of him going up against him is DiMolanta, he is just no one's talking about me. Everyone's talking about this kid. What the heck? Where's my love, man? Where's my attention? That's what it feels like a little bit. Because he's been so aggressive with how focused and his drive going into this. And he's just flat out, I am going to win this belt. I am going to work so hard for this belt. And nothing's going to change that. I don't care who I go up against. And then this. And he's like, what? It's just like how Laura Kelly, she even said, you ruined my chances to compete against a former champion. You ruined that for me. You took that away from me,
Yeah. I feel like I don't understand why Andrew DiMolanta is not getting the attention he deserves. Because honestly, I've been behind on my Schmoedown stuff for the past couple weeks, and I didn't see DiMolanta versus Joseph Scrimshaw when it happened. So I caught it this week, and it's surprising me. I didn't hear anyone talking about that match. That match went to sudden death. They both didn't miss until the sudden death. And with this match, I saw people talk about it everywhere on Twitter. I saw people messaging in our group chat, Paul watched this match. People put so much attention on Ace now that I think Andrew DiMolanta deserves some of that attention.
Absolutely. Even in the chat, people are real quick to say, Ace has this. I am done underestimating Cabrera. You're absolutely just in those feelings. And I agree with you. It's just, they're both two sides of the same coin. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Very similar.
I understand the saying that you can't underestimate Ace, but saying that he has it, I don't agree with that, because no one for sure has anything in this division. Anyone can win. It wouldn't surprise me.
Absolutely. So flippantly. Starger, they were saying there were 3 challenges, 2 on the same question. That's very true. And then Ace challenges in the 3rd round. Yes, you're totally right. Yeah, so the third one, technically, I guess it wasn't an official challenge, but yes, you're right. Okay, so we are going to be going into our third and final, match. It's actually a match that was released earlier today, or just a few hours ago. So if you haven't seen the Goddard versus Parker match, what the flip are you doing here? I say that with all the love and respect in the world. What are you doing here? So we're going to be going into spoilers. So, just giving you a heads up, you have like 10 seconds to leave and do your thing.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, just like this video, close it, and go watch the other video.
Okay, now we're going to be diving into the match. Okay, so just before we kind of dive into the statistics and everything, I do want to bring up the poll for this one in particular. Yes, so there were over 350 votes in this one. I can't think of the percentage off the top of my head. However, obviously it is very, very clearly in Parker's favor. Yes. Which is also a tad frustrating to me because technically they both have the same record. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Scratch that. Parker has won one match previously. So now he's won this match. He is 2-0. Goddard, he has played his other match was in singles. So it was his only.
He beat Jim David. So coming in this match, they were both 1-0.
Yeah. Okay. You're totally right. Forgot about that match. You're totally right. Thank you for correcting me. So they're on the same level technically. So, and I know I feel bad. I love Parker. I really do. I'm also one of those people that, is like very much like, we shouldn't put all the pressure on Parker. Yeah. Everyone's talking about as if he's a champion already. And I'm like, he deserves it. Absolutely. He's studying and his intensity and everything. But I don't know if we should put so much pressure on someone that's had one match. Like, good Lord,
Yeah, even before he had this match, I remember you were on AAA Live and we were talking about Robert Parker, and me and Dylan were just like hyping him up so much, and you weren't completely sold. And I think that's fair. I think I asked you this like after he had his first match, and you weren't sold then either because he spun spinner's choice and he got to pick his strength. Yeah. So I'm super curious how you feel about him now.
Well, I do think he is worth his salt. Obviously, he's incredibly talented. I also want to kind of go into this as well, his stats. Real quickly, let me see if I can find it. Is it this one? No. Is it that one? Yes. Yeah. So just going to go into the stats a little bit. Now, Robert Parker is almost perfect, except for a 2-point miss in the second round, which I thought was very interesting. Because he has mentioned that DC is considered a huge strength of his. Yeah. Now, I think he's, obviously he has a 95% accuracy rating overall. He's fantastic. It's just, I'm going to take that way back for a minute again, but it's just he has only been in one match. And I do think he is worth all the praise. It's just, should we as commentators and everything really be putting him in that conversation of he's definitely gonna get the belt and everything after playing one match, 1 or 2 matches.
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're saying. I admit that I was one of the people who were hyping him up so much. Because he does have that aura around him that whole mystique about how he's going to be the juggernaut of the Intergeekdom division, and that's what I have to live up to. I mean, I know that he's dominated the fan leagues. I don't follow the fan leagues, but I've heard people talk. But this is a completely different game. The Schmoedown is different from the fan leagues, and I hear arguments that the fan leagues ask more difficult questions, and I do see some merit to that.
I have seen him lose a lot of questions in the fan leagues, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, so I definitely think that Robert Parker can be beat, but I think he deserves definitely. He's human and he misses questions, but I feel like he deserves to be considered the favorite of this tournament, even with Mike Kalinowski in it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Definitely a huge, huge favorite. He's in between him. I feel like the Barbarian is another one I would really be, I'm really curious about. I don't know. I don't think a Barbarian's necessarily a favorite, but he's just someone I'm really excited to see. I would love to see if he somehow came on top as with an upset or something coming up. But him against Kalinowski and Hannah as well, I would love it. Because I know Hannah's he's going to be leaving here pretty soon because he's going to lose and like fall on his ass. But still, all these are really awesome competitors. Now, I do want to address the chat real quickly. Yeah, he did it with Smets, and Smets was the question. This is, they're human and things happen. Sometimes they mix up their movies or characters, or they just maybe one movie in particular is just, they're like, oh, I don't remember as well as the others, whatever it may be. But yeah, numbers wise, absolutely favors Parker, 100 per flippin' cent. Oh, and Canada Rock says, I hate to say this, but Kate Mulligan really showed that she is not a good manager. Oh boy, I will fight you. I was screaming no when she talked Ben into keeping Star Wars. Okay, I kind of want to fight you on that a little bit. Okay, so
we'll talk about it later.
I'll fight you on it real quick. Right? Okay, I say that because I actually watched the match live while also on Ben's live stream as well. So I was watching him react to it, and so he was talking about it. And he mentioned that when he's been training a lot on the Star Wars category in particular recently. And so the last handful of training sessions that they've been going over the Star Wars matches and all that good stuff, he's actually been doing really, really great with Star Wars. And so when he spun it, he wasn't like crazy excited, but he's like, yeah, this is a very recent one for me. And so he felt very confident going into it. Yeah. So he said going in, like looking at a lot of the other, some of the other Star Wars matches, like with Ace and everything, he got like almost a perfect score. He got 8 or 9 points. So I wouldn't be like, I don't blame him, honestly, but it is definitely a risky one though, overall.
I don't blame him, but I definitely think that was a huge, huge mistake because when you're playing Robert Parker, who has 95% accuracy, you have to go balls to the walls. You have to take a risk. You have to spin what you think.
And he did take a risk, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it was the wrong risk. You know what I mean?
So it's not the right risk you were hoping for. But he did exactly what you wanted him to do. He took that risk. He chose one that's recent for him that he's been studying. Not only that, he chose a slice that he knows that if Parker had to steal, thing is, when you're picking a slice, you want to take in consideration, what am I not only good at, what is my competitor bad at? If I did something wrong, what do I hope that they would not steal the points from? So there was Parker. He spun away from that category. So he's like thinking to himself, not only is this a recent one that I've been studying on, I feel a lot more confident in. He also just voiced verbally he's not super comfortable with it. So it makes sense for him to kind of go in that direction. But again, it is still risky either way.
Yeah. Here's the thing, like Robert Parker spun away from Star Wars, and he gave a really good reason why he did. But he also said he was comfortable with it. He just feels like there are categories that he's more comfortable with. And if you're Ben Goddard and you're spinning Star Wars, and you stick with it, then you got the question wrong. You're eliminating a possible answer and making it that much easier for Robert Parker to steal. Because he's already knowledgeable when it comes to Star Wars. And if you get rid of one possible answer, that makes it so much easier for him.
The thing is, we haven't really seen Parker really excel at Star Wars. So it's a real big gamble for him. So he has verbally said, oh, I'm okay at it. I'm not the best at it, but I'm okay, but I would kind of rather spin away, so getting that verbal confirmation, is just like Ben, maybe Ben was sitting out of a between 0 and a 5. Maybe he's sitting at a 4 out of the 5. That you want to keep that 4 if that's what you spun. Versus like going to other ones, which he might feel a lot more risky with, because he's mentioned he's obviously he hasn't been studying IG as long as Parker, so he is not as strong in as many categories as Parker.
Right.
So this is probably, he's thinking, one of the best he can possibly get, looking at the wheel statistically.
Right. And I'm speaking as a fan. I'm not like in Ben Goddard's head. I don't know what his actual strengths are, but I would say like if there was a category that he was better about it, even if it's just one, I would take that risk and try to not miss a question, because if I'm Ben Goddard, then my mindset is Robert Parker is not going to miss another question. He's missed one the entire game, and it was just a random what color was Penguin's hat question.
Purple.
Yeah, right. So if I'm Ben Goddard, I would just do whatever I can to get all the questions right and assume Robert Parker is going to do the same. And if you do that, you win. So I just feel like Star Wars is just such a deep category. Like,
it is. It's just it's just a real big risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, for sure. At the end of the day, it's sometimes you have to go with your gut. So who knows? Maybe that we'll find out that it has been like a secret super duper strength for him for a long time. Who knows? I do want to kind of dive into the second round a little bit. As you can see, for Parker for the second round, Goddard, he does have a huge 2-point steal, with his third question. He does start with Star Wars. He ends up taking DC, which is actually a very big strength of his. But also Goddard, I don't want to say he did badly, but he didn't do great for sure. So Parker ended up stealing 3 points in the first one. He ended up stealing, but also in the fourth question, he ended up stealing a point for multiple choice. Now, also Ben did mention that he got into his own head for this match. And Kate was behind the scenes doing everything she can to be an amazing manager. And I think she is an amazing manager. She's doing so much behind the scenes in order to really help them build their confidence, really work and study to be the best competitors ever. There's so much that we don't see, obviously, on camera. But sometimes if you're going up against someone like Parker, you get in your own head so intensely. Like, I can't imagine how Ben must have felt, especially with everyone talking about, going up against, Schmodown's golden boy right now,
Yeah. Like, obviously we're not competitors. So
yes,
I'm not part of the den. So I don't know how good Kate is behind the scenes, but I don't think we can call her a bad manager because of one mistake. It was a big mistake and it cost them the match, but
big risk,
everyone makes mistakes, like everyone's fallible. So I think what makes Kate a good manager is because you can tell she cares about her competitors. She cares about how well they do. And when she makes a mistake, she beats herself up about it. So that's really all you can ask for in this situation is like, you have to learn from your mistake and you have to like do better next time,
Absolutely. I was also very impressed that, Goddard did get all of his questions in round 3 correct. Looking at it, he got Middle Earth, Star Wars, Harry Potter. Obviously, one of those is a strength. I don't know about, obviously, Star Wars we're iffy on. He mentioned that there was like the one the one movie in Star Wars that he absolutely hates, which is Rogue One. Most Star Wars questions from this match was from Rogue One, and he's like, "Oh, damn it," And so I think it was kind of funny, but Wizarding for the World of Harry Potter, he ended up getting that one correct. So, so he ended up getting that one correct. Now Parker, he didn't get a chance to go to his 5-pointer, but he did get his questions, his 2 and 3 pointers correct. So overall, obviously, he only got one question incorrect, which resulted in a 2-point steal, having the 95% accuracy. But at the very end, Parker very clearly stated, next match, he wants to go for a perfect round. He not only wants to go for a perfect round, he wants to get the IG points record.
Yeah, I think it's totally within his wheelhouse. Like, he can do it. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Ben Goddard too much and hyping up Robert Parker a lot, because he did make a really big mistake in not going to multiple choice with the Penguin question. I think he took a chance to to guess blue, and it ended up being purple. And I think if he went to multiple choice, he would have limited Ben's steal to 1 point. I don't think he needed that point really that badly, but costing yourself 2 points and giving them to your opponent is a 4-point swing. And Ben Goddard, if he hits all his questions, then he could have won. So I definitely think that was a huge mistake. But Broward Parker knows his stuff, and I don't see him making that kind of mistake in the future when he's playing people like Chance Ellison and maybe the Barbarian next after, I think it was. And in the finals, he could potentially be playing Mike Kalinowski, a former champion. So like he needs to bring the same level of intensity that he's been bringing and just keep going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be really sad to see if Goddard doesn't play IG again until next year. But, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised considering I don't know how many more IG matches they're going to have after this tournament, but obviously Ben Goddard, he is obviously very talented with it. It's just something he really just needs to work on polishing up. Star Wars, obviously the crazy difficult category. And I don't know about it just comes down to a confidence level. How confident are you in this category versus this category? I don't think anyone was necessarily scared of any particular slices, but you have to be strategic of which slices you prove. Yeah. And he thought, I've definitely been almost perfect, in all my training sessions, when it comes to Star Wars recently. So it makes sense that I would feel confident going into this second round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now, real quickly over to the chat. So I'm going to pull this down. Do you know who has the record in IG that is Smets or it's the highest points in IG? I don't know.
I think it has to be Smets, right?
I really don't know. Wait, let me find out.
Yeah, let's look it up. I'm super curious. Like, Smets, it's Kalinowski or Cushing. It's only one of those three.
Let me find out. Lifetime Inner Geekdom. I'm gonna just pull this off.
Round 3 is Smets over Chandru with 28, is what Leo Logan says.
Okay. Let's see. Total points. Man, I don't think I'm looking in the right place. That's a total possible points earned, total points. Why is this category a thing? I don't understand. Average points. Like, why does that matter? Give me the number, dude. Just give me records. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no clue.
Oh, yeah. I think it's 28. I think it's, wait, hold on. N7 Shepard said Zippert could have had 28 if he hit his 2.
Wait, what am I missing on this chart? Points possible earned, chains to steal, adjusted score.
What are division records? They said.
Where?
Division records. I don't know where that is.
Wait, I don't know what the vision records are. Vision records?
Division.
A division. Oh wait. Whoopsie. There we go. Division records. Yeah, that's not helping. What am I missing, guys?
Under stat.
But say it's definitely not average points, not possible points. Possible points earned. Total points, steal rate. Just saying. Whammy. Almost 90% steal rate.
Oh, okay, I found it.
Where? Tell me.
It's under the stats tab.
Where? What are you doing? Where?
Go back to the ShimodaOnLive.com.
I am at ShimodaOnLive.com.
Go to stats right there on the bar. Right there, stats.
Oh wait. Oh wait.
Nope.
Oh wait. Shoot. Snarf. Oh, I was like on the thing and it didn't even show up. No wonder. Of course it didn't. Division records. Okay.
Yes.
Singles, teams, Inner Geek Team. You guys are brilliant. You guys are amazing. Most matches played of all time. Okay. Most matches played in the same. Most wins. Kalinowski. Most KOs. combined knockouts. Oh. Steal chances. I don't know. Average points. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of this is just like random information. Like how much? Why do we need some of this? What is the purpose of this? I mean, it's cool information, but why? Okay, but if you find it, I don't. It's like, yeah, total points. No, steal.
That's total points of all time in the season. I don't see where it has it in the season.
Yeah, TKOs, KOs, most wins. Yeah, just most points. I don't know. Just like most points in a match. What is the record? I don't know. Yeah, I'm under sets. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I have no clue. But that's a great question, and I'm sure someone will let us know in a tweet or something. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm curious to see who's going to be the first one to do it. Zipper could have hit 28 if he hit his 2 and 3 and 5, but the game never got that far. That's true. Yeah, I think he TKO'd her, Emily Rose Jacobson at the very. Yeah, he never got to, but she had to get points in her third round essentially in order to do it. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay, I found it. So
what are you doing that I'm not doing?
It's near the bottom of the thing. So most points in a 5-round match is 61. Rachel Cushing versus. Oh my God, this is combined points. Okay, individual points. 31 points. Rachel Cushing, Mike Kalinowski.
Which one? Where is that? Most.
It's near the bottom.
Most pointed 5. Okay, that's
most points at 5 individual.
So is that a championship match?
Yeah, that's a 5-rounder and three-round matches under it. So 28 points for a 3-round match. It's Mets versus Chandra.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Whammy. That was an awesome match. That really was. That really was a great match.
Really great match.
Mm-hmm. And I just like the most points in a 5-round match is between. Actually, sorry, I'll put this up here. It's actually both Cushing versus Kalinowski and both for the top 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so real quickly, we are going to be wrapping it up here very soon. Canada says most points in a 3rd-round match individually, 28. Yes, thank you so much. It gives Frank to do something. I don't know. I mean, no, that's rude. That's so rude, Jeremiah. Come on now. Yeah. So give me. I know ulcers right now, dude. It's not super organized. Okay, come on now. Come on, man. I just need a clean chart. There you go. That's all you need. Okay, so overall, I do want to review how our IG brackets are looking right now. Okay. So obviously Parker is going to be shifting up here. So Parker's going to be going up against Ellison. What do you think about that match?
I think Chance Ellison's really good, but I don't think he's Robert Parker. So I'm gonna go with Robert Parker on this one. And post match, I don't think it's gonna be a knockout.
I do agree with you. I don't think I do think Chance is gonna do very, very well. Did really fantastic against Oyama, but at the same time, like you said, it is Parker. So it's not to mention Chance. He did have a handful of losses. Like several points missed when he played against Oyama as well.
Yeah.
So he showed that he was very much a rookie competitor in IG, essentially.
I definitely think he belongs in IG. He had that really great match, that 4-way with Chandru, and the one that Brendan Hanna ended up winning. And I think he outlasted Chandru, if I'm not wrong. So that's a huge accomplishment.
Huge. Yeah, especially nowadays, for sure.
Yeah.
Barbarian is going to be going up against John Humphreys. What do you think about that?
Ooh, I love me some John Humphrey. I love me some Real Rejects, but I'm going to go Barbarian on this one. I think Barbarian has a real shot of going all the way if he can get past Robert Parker.
Absolutely. I feel exact same way. Barbarian, he did fantastic. John Humphreys, there was a handful of very surface level questions that he didn't get right. And he was like, oh. And honestly, I think he did really solid in that match. I do think that Barbarian is going to walk away with that win as well. Okay, now over to Hannah versus Damon.
This is a really interesting one because this one I think is the closest of all the semifinals. I want to say.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know. I hate to say it. It really kills me to say it. I think Brandon Hannah's going to win.
I think
unless Alex Damon spins Star Wars in round 2.
I know. I don't. He won't win. I don't like him. I don't want him to win. That's it. Ugh, that Hannah's. What a weirdo.
Ugh.
No one wants him here anyway. What is he doing? What is his purpose in Schmodown anyway? But Alex Damon, he has in such a short time. I'm really excited to see him. Really play in just more matches at home. Honestly. Yeah. Obviously, he thrives, being at live events and everything. But I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to be translated further, being at home as well. Because some people are much more comfortable, used to that environment, competing at home, like Parker and Chance and everything. But other people like Barbarian or Zipper, we don't know, or Mike. It's a very new experience for them, kind of learning to. Not actually be there under the lights and all that good stuff. Okay, last but not least, Eric versus Kalinowski.
So it's interesting that you should say there are people who are more comfortable at home. I don't think Mike Kalinowski is one of those people. I think he thrives in a live event setting. I think he thrives with people watching him. But it's Mike Kalinowski. He's a former champion, 2-time champion. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have to go with the killer.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look at that. You and I are agreeing like no other. That's crazy. Look at us. Yeah, I know it's rarity, right? Yeah, so I 100% agree. Kalinowski, at the end of the day, he's a champion. He's doing amazing. I also wouldn't be surprised if, Eric really stuns us all and does fantastic, not only getting a personal best, but also he ends up, really, stunning some people, making some steals or something potentially. So who knows? It was shown just like we said earlier today, Mike made had 1 or 2 questions that he lost. And I was like, oh, that was a surface level question. And he didn't get it. What? So.
Yeah, Mike is not the most consistent player, but I think when he's good, he can beat anyone on any given day. So if the champion level Mike Kalinowski shows up, then I have him winning. It wouldn't surprise me if Eric Zipper won, but I don't see it happening.
I wonder if what his training schedule is like right now. If he's because I feel like it's a given that he's going to be in the singles tournament, or maybe he's not going to be in the singles tournament. I don't know, because I know Adam Collins is, and I do think that Chance Ellison is going to be. And who knows what some of the other competitors will look like. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out. But I'm curious what his schedule is looking like right now. Kalinowski said that he's watching 3 or maybe 4 movies a day. Yeah. Specifically. And so
I think it's also important to bring up that he lives with his manager. So that's a huge advantage to have your manager around you 24/7.
Yeah.
I think, Kaiser's not living with Zipper. So
that we know of.
He's
in the dungeon.
He's in the dungeon.
But not only that, he's constantly doing it. Kaiser, he's like vocal about it. He breaks into all his competitors' houses all the time to give homework and, all that good stuff. He's like, hey, I noticed you haven't opened up your new note cards yet. What the heck? Where's that ice? You haven't taken your ice bath. All the ice is still in the tub. What you gonna do about that? All right. Okay. So, Okay, so overall, I honestly think that kind of wraps it up. Real questions, if there's any questions, comments, any takes that you guys have, or is there anything that you think that we're wrong about? Is there anything you were right about? What are some of your predictions over in the chat? I would love to hear what you think. We also have a Streamlabs link. It's actually in the description below. Please go check it out. We'd really appreciate it. It would help keep the lights on, here at C2A. And we're just gonna kind of leave that going here for a few minutes, and hopefully we'll get something coming up here pretty soon. But overall, is there any match in particular, Nat, that you're most excited for coming up? Like any division?
Yeah, I mean, Dimalanta versus Ace. I think that one.
Yo,
the match of the century. Like
match of the flipping century. You're not kidding. Yeah. What about some of the announcements that were made on regarding the singles tournament?
What was just announced? It was Deep 13 versus Final Exam, right?
Deep 13, I believe so. Yes. So there's that. I do know Rachel Silvestrini was added, as well as Mark Riley.
Yeah.
Adam Collins, like I mentioned. Perry Nemiroff, William Bibiani, obviously. I was very surprised Meyer wasn't added and Nemiroff was added. I was like, oh, hot take there.
Oh, no. I just realized Meyer wasn't added, and he's on my fantasy team, and my fantasy team has been doing terrible because I don't have any Inuyukdom or Star Wars players. So,
yeah, my Star Wars competitor was Laura, so I was like really gunning for her. So unfortunately, I'm not getting points for more in the Star Wars tournament, but whatever. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Bonnie Somerville is also going to be in the singles tournament for Absolutely. And I feel like I'm missing a whole bunch, but I can't remember.
What faction is Bonnie Somerville on now?
She's in the Droogs.
She's in the Droogs. That's right, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but I feel like I'm missing some more. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Let's see. I was actually really excited for Adam Collins. Adam Collins is also from the Fan Leagues as well. And let's see if I can find it. Okay. Oh, I feel like Jericho's going to pop in some point,
That's my favorite wrestler. Like, you don't even know. He's my all-time favorite. And the smack talk that he's going to bring is going to be legendary. I can't wait for him.
Yes. Oh, Liz Shannon Miller from Swag. Paul Oyama as well.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, Ben Bateman's not going to be in the tournament since he's going to be in the number one contenders, I believe.
He's going to be facing the winner of Guy and Kalinowski, if I'm right.
Yes. So we're possibly going to be seeing our dads reunite,
Yeah, they're going to fight again.
Again. Yeah. Bonnie for the tourney. I know Ben is actually one of the people that is in charge of the Burning Droogs page. And, he's definitely been gunning for Bonnie for a little bit now. I'm super excited for Liz Shannon Miller. She was great. She's only lost I think she's pretty fantastic. When she was playing singles, she's like, what, 3-1 or something along those lines?
Something like that. She beat some pretty impressive people.
Yeah.
She beat JTE, a former teams champion.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can find some stats on her real quickly. Liz Shannon Miller. Okay.
She is 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. Absolutely. So
she only lost the champions. She lost to Paul Oyama.
I just read that. I was like, oh man. But if you're gonna lose to anyone, champions is definitely a good bet,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So overall, don't say that. No. Why? Final Exam might not play for the rest of the season. Don't tell me that. Please don't.
They're playing Deep 13.
Do you know that 100%?
Christian announced it today.
Oh, I must have missed it. I only listened to like 20, 30 minutes of
Yeah,
set.
it like just happened, I think, just before we went on air. So I don't blame you for missing it. But yeah, Deep 13 versus Final Exam, that should be a good match. And I hope that 13 gets the win because I want Whitney Seibel to do well. So
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and, like wrap it up, all that fun stuff, and just kind of let everyone know what we're doing here at C2A. What are you doing now? What are you doing with C2A right now?
Oh, well, I host a show called AAA Live with Dylan Camacho. We are currently on hiatus, but you should definitely check out our past episodes, which don't get enough love, but they're great. They're awesome.
So good. I love those episodes.
Yeah, so basically, if you don't know what it is, we just break down a competitor's stats, much like we did here today. But like, we break down one single competitor. We talk about their weaknesses, their strengths, and we also do a segment called Kayfabe, How's My Kayfabe, where we break down a competitor's character and how they do in that aspect of the game.
Oh,
so that's what I do.
I love that show. If you're not familiar with it, please get on it. There's like a whole playlist filled with it and all that good stuff, with the C2A channel. Actually, speaking of which, please like and subscribe to this to C2A. We'd really appreciate it. And leave us a comment. It helps us with algorithms and finding us and all that fancy schmancy stuff, Yeah, algorithm. Do I sound like a real personality now with Schmodown personality? It's like, yeah, it helps us with the algorithm, Yes. I also I do host a show called Schmobates. We're actually going to be wrapping up a little tournament here very soon. The Tournament of Champions, actually. It's going to be William Bibiani up against Ben Bateman. It's going to be next Thursday. And we've had 8 people initially were vying for these matches, and now it's going to be really intense.
It's going to be insane. I haven't been watching Schmobates live, but I've been catching the videos after they've aired. And oh my God, let me tell you, this is such a good show. If you're not watching, you're seriously missing out.
Yes. So it's pretty much it's a Schmodown themed debate show where we really kind of argue and debate to the death. It's a fun time, if I do say so myself. I try, so here next Thursday, it's going to be Ben Bateman up against Bibiani. Both are actually undefeated with 4 wins and 0 losses. And so just give you a quick little promo of what to expect. Sorry. Woo! Oh my God.
How awesome was that?
I'm so hyped for that. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. I just got it confirmed earlier this afternoon. Christian is going to be my co-host. And I'm like, it's happening. It's finally happening. This tournament has been my baby for I can't tell you how long. And thank you so much for Kelsey Kintz, for being a babe and doing this. It's going to be amazing. And yes. Oh shit. Harloff? Yeah. He's going to be coasting with me. And, I am so grateful for him for being such a really great guy to really, help me. He was the first person to be like, hey, you need to do not only this tournament, but also it should be an official tournament of champions and blah, 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 just like Schmodown. It was like a whole thing. I remember him pitching during like a Sun episode. But yeah, so it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be next Thursday, actually at 4 Pacific, so 6 Central. So yeah, I'm going to be sending actually that promo out, I believe tonight or tomorrow morning. So I just want to give you a heads up. But yeah, so that's everything here. You can always check us out also on on Twitter as well at Call to Action Pod. I personally run the Call to Action Podcast Twitter page. And also we have a Facebook page as well. Give us a search at the Call to Action Facebook page. Give us a holler. Much appreciated. We try sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, not always. Sometimes, though.
Sometimes.
All right, awesome. Well, is there any last words you'd like to say, Nat?
You can find me on Twitter at NattyIce44. I've seen some of you like my tweets, retweet my tweets, but you don't follow me. So give me a follow. I'm a pretty funny guy sometimes. And you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nat_Vu. NatVu was taken. Some guy took it, but so I have an underscore in my name, but that's okay. I put out good content, so check me out there. And yeah, good show.
Whoop, whoop. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're so funny on Twitter. I love it. Absolutely. Yes. And you can find me also on Twitter at RealAlexMac right here. And give me a follow. I'll probably follow back because I know like 99.9% of everyone in this chat. So, you know. All right. Guys, thank you so much. Stay safe and wear a flipping mask. Okay.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask and wash your hands.